in the time that it took for him to finish it, the middle page came undone. That's mostly because when you do these, you really have to hold if you're going to do both sides, the front and the back. Let me make sure I don't damage anything here. You're going to have to hold. This is by way of a tutorial for folks that may be wanting to do these sketch covers. The book open like this. I wish there was a device or something new that I'm just using a drawing board, an old drawing board, and I put a plastic on it so that none of the markers I've used would bleed onto the actual comic book. But in doing this, you loosen up the staples, and of course, the middle page came out. It's okay. I wasn't really worried about the comic book being, graded by CBCS as a 9.8 or whatever. Just the fact that I have this beautiful Spider Woman by Mr. Lalo was fantastic and a dream come true. All right, so let's get to the business here. Um, we're going to do a little bit of lettering, and we're going to have to do it completely by hand. So usually I use an Ames guide, which is not digital. It's like almost like a rectangular looking piece. You would set that Ames guide. Again, you can Google that or just go to YouTube and type in hand lettering comics, and you'll see several tutorials on how to use an Ames guide. And you make these lines a blue pencil or a graphite pencil, hopefully a light pencil, and it separates. It gives you borders, brackets upon which you're going to letter, and the spaces in between the brackets, which is going to be a smaller space, of course. Anyways, that's a short version of showing you how it is that I'm doing the lettering. Now, at this point, I could do it by hand and just go from left to right. I'm going to try to hold this ruler here without getting into camera view. Let me see if I can do this. I think this might be an awkward position for my hand. Okay, why am I so different? All right. Also, I have the script written here so I can refer back to it. The actual quote from the movie monologue. Okay, here we go. The idea of all this by hand is you want to keep a uniform look on your letters. I will tell you, though, that I made a mistake on the sizing because I didn't have the Ames guide with me. So somewhere along the way on one of these lines, the sizing is going to end. Excuse me, it's not going to end. It's going to change. Why am I so different from them? Okay, hold on a second. Um, and you want to get... hold on a second. This might be even better without the ruler. You just sort of do it by sight alone. I usually do my lettering by hand without a ruler. I think I find them cumbersome, and after years of lettering, I've kind of gotten used to doing it that way. Now I know that S looks like a 5, but that's okay. I might have to turn this way and then do the lettering from bottom to top, or yeah, vertically. All right, let me see if I'm in. Yeah, here we go. These are the characters speaking, of course, and then I'm going to gotta give credit where it's due. I'm kind of not staying completely on the blue lines that I originally drew. They were just a guide, not a demand to trace over them. That's not how this works. Inking is not tracing, again, stipulating that for anyone out there that may say or think otherwise. In order to ink comics, ink anything really, in art, you should know how to draw. You should know drawing, period. Should it be practiced. Okay, and brighter. Now, you'll see I'm going to actually, sorry for the camera moved. I'm going to switch. I'm going to just keep moving the comic book around so it'll be closer to me. And that allows me to keep a uniform lettering. I'm trying not to make them smaller, but not bigger either. And they have to be legible. And you can't make a mistake. Yes, you can erase with white paint later, but That's just a drag to have to do that cleanup afterwards. All right, we got two lines. Why am I so different from them? Question mark. Dorel. Earth's sun was younger and brighter than Krypton's was. This is actually wrong in the original blue. This Krypton should be here. See? A uniform size. I was going to write the U here, but no. Actually, no, I might be able to get away with it. Let's do it together. Okay, that's not bad. All right, so here we're going to erase this just to get rid of that faint line. Now, when you have that much space, you're going to be tempted to fill in the space by making giant letters. I've seen other folks do that, and that's not what you should be doing because it'll look whack, period. So you just want to create the word, but you want to center it in the space that's available to you. Have drunk. Oops. This is never going to be perfect, folks. There's no thing as perfection. Just keep an even hand. Keep a uniformity to your letters if you're doing it by hand. All right, I think you can see it there. Now here, it's tricky because I'm running out of room. Watch this. Made it. Radiation is there. Now the word strengthening is very long, so we need to attack this with an eraser first. Get rid of those, kind of the blue lines were a little dark.